guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Jill and today I'm going to be doing my July wrap-up and August TBR. So let's get started. So this wrap-up is not going to include the books that I read as part of the booktubeathon. That will be in a separate video that I've already posted that I will link up there and also down below in the description box if you want to see how I did in the booktubeathon. In this video I'm going to be talking about all of the books that I completed prior to booktubeathon and some books that I want to get to in August. So let's just get started. I managed to read 7 books in the month of July, which I am pretty excited about. That's not as much as I read in June, but 7 books is still pretty impressive in my opinion. The first book that I completed in the month of July was so amazing, guys, and that was The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. This book is officially in my top 5 books of the year. It was hilarious. It was just a freaking amazing. I pitched this book as Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda meets Pirates of the Caribbean set in the 1700s, following a bisexual main character, and basically him and his best friend Percy and his sister go on this tour of England, and then all this stuff happens, and it's so good. I don't think I've had this much fun reading a book in such a long time, and I was hooked in this story from the very first chapter. I love the diversity in this. I love the representation. I just loved how Mackenzie Lee made this story and made the characters. Like, you could tell that so much love went into this story. Next up, I read an arc that I received from my local bookstore, changing hands, and that was Moxie by Jennifer Matthew. This book basically follows a girl named Vivian, and she starts a feminist revolution in her small Texas high school, and she basically gets all these girls to rely on each other and to start a revolution, and I really enjoyed it. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I first heard of this book when it was under a lot of hype and sort of criticism and stuff when a reviewer said that this was anti-male and everyone was freaking out about it, and having read this book in its entirety, I can say that this book is not anti-male in my personal opinion, okay? Only if you are reading on the very, bare surface could I even fathom how you could interpret it that way. Of course, everyone is open to their own interpretations, but in my opinion, this book is not anti-male in the least. I loved it. It was super empowering. Like, I haven't felt this empowered since I watched Wonder Woman, okay? It was great. I didn't give it a full 5 out of 5 stars just because some of the characters, I wasn't completely invested in the characters themselves. What was happening plot-wise was definitely a 5 star, but I ended up lowering it because I just wasn't in love with all of the characters. But I strongly believe that this book is so important, and when this book comes out in September, I implore you to pick it up. I think it discusses the topic of feminism in such a beautiful and eloquent way, and I think that no matter what you believe, that this book will be extremely helpful and extremely important, and just everyone should read it because it needs to be read, especially in today's culture. So that's my spiel on this one. Next up, I read The Thousandth Floor by Catherine McGee, and it basically follows these 5 characters as they live in this 1,000-story tower. I cannot say the word thousandth today. Blah. I have such conflicting feelings when it comes to this book because I liked it, but at the same time it was trash, but it was good trash. Like, it was really fun. Like, you know when you're in those reading moods when you don't really want anything like a groundbreaking read, you just want something fun? This is a book to read in that situation. It was just really fun, and I find myself still thinking about it. And the last 100 pages were totally Pretty Little Liars vibes to me, and that was amazing. And I'm excited for the sequel, and I'm just really conflicted on my thoughts for this book. Like I said, because I liked it, but I also hated it, but it was fun, and I really want to read the sequel. I don't know, if you're looking for something really fun and really different, I would suggest this one, I guess. Next up, I finally ended up reading Fallen Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes, and I actually met her, and she signed my book and personalized it, and she was such a joy. I love her awful much. This book is the start to an epic sort of fantasy series that is sort of like a teenage version of Game of Thrones. This first book reminded me a lot of the first Throne of Glass book. Like, if you read the first Throne of Glass book, it's like, okay, yeah, that was fun, but you could tell that as the series went on, it would get much better. I feel like that is how this series works. I've heard countless people say that it gets so much better as the books go on, and so I'm excited to see where this goes. My main problem with this first book just was that we followed 4 main characters, and I didn't really love any of them very deeply, and I thought that some of the plot plot points were pretty cliche, but I'm excited to see where this goes because I can feel it. I can feel the epicness of this series starting at the very end of this book. And next up I have another arc that I received from my local bookstore, and that was The Bells by Danielle Clayton. Now this book comes out in February of 2018, so really far in the future. I saw people talking about this post BEA, and this book is pretty big, okay? It's like almost 500 pages, and this book literally has me speechless, okay? This is one of those books to where, like, for the life of me, I don't think I can explain what it's about. That's how unique it is and how out there it is. I will attempt a summary, but it's probably not going to be very good. It's set in this world where people are without color. They're called the gris, which is, I guess, gray in French. And this also has a lot of French vibes in it. But anyway, people are gray, and the only way that they get color are through the blood of these people called Bells. The Bells are born with color. They basically are descendants from the goddess of beauty, and they are the ones who give people color, and basically they can change your body shape, they can change your hair color, they can change your facial structure, they can change everything. This book deals a lot with sort of how far people will go for beauty. Like, there are some brutal scenes in this book of Bells like changing people's appearances and like cutting off skin, and like it really deals with how far people will go to be beautiful. And it basically follows this one Belle. Her name is Camilla, and she is trying to be the queen's favorite because the queen's favorite gets to work in the royal palace, and it's really good if you're the queen's favorite. And it basically follows her, and all this stuff happens, and like I said, this book is so interesting that I don't know how to describe it. The only thing that I didn't really like about it is that I did feel like it was too long. Like, it was a long time, and some of the parts felt like they didn't really seem necessary, like they kind of dragged a little bit. But overall, I give this book huge points for being super unique. Also, Danielle Clayton is the COO of We Need Diverse Books, so there's lots of diversity in this book as well, which was fabulous. And overall, like, I'm still just speechless of what to think of this book. And next up I have two books that I'm currently reading, but I am definitely going to finish them by the end of tonight. The first one is Rebel Spring by Morgan Rhodes, which is the second book in the Fallen Kingdoms series, and I can say that I like this book more than Fallen Kingdoms. It's still not quite at the epicness yet, but again, I can feel it stronger now that this series is going to go beautiful places, and I'm just waiting for it. And lastly, I have Othello by Shakespeare. I mentioned this book so many times on my channel. This is going to be my senior thesis book, so I'm tabbing and annotating like the hell out of this book, but I have to finish this today because my deadline for myself is today to finish this, and I'm almost done, and it's just been so glorious, so amazing. I love this story so much. So those are all the books that I completed prior to Booktubeathon in the month of July. Now I'm just going to get into two books that I'm hoping to read in August. So I start school at the very beginning of August, and my August and September are going to be insanely busy, so I'm not going to set a TBR other than my two book club books. And I don't even know if I'm going to get to these books. I don't even know if I'm going to go to my book clubs this month because, like I said, my month in August and September are going to be just so crazy. First book club book is Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. I've talked about this book a lot on my channel. It's sort of been sweeping booktube. It's a mixed media novel. It basically follows this web comic creator and then also this guy, which is basically the web comics biggest fan, and he writes fan fiction about it. And I guess these people meet in real life, but they don't know who they are online or something like that. I've heard countless amazing things about this book, and I've heard that it's like fangirl but better. So I'm extremely excited. Hopefully I'm able to get to it in August, but if not, I will read it sometime, hopefully. And my second book club book is Words in Deep Blue by Kath Crowley. Now I've heard amazing things about this book from the people at my bookstore. It's very bookish. It's like this love story that follows this guy whose family owns a bookshop and this girl, and they leave like messages to each other in their favorite books, and it just sounds so cute. Anyway, so I'm hoping to get to those two books in August. Who knows what's going to happen, to be honest. So yeah, that was my July wrap up and August TBR. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Get a like if you did, subscribe if you are new here, and comment down below what book that you are looking forward to reading in August. I have all my social media linked down down below for you guys. I have my Goodreads, Twitter, Bookstagram, and personal Instagram if you want to go check those out and follow my daily life. And yeah, thanks again so much for watching, and I will see you guys later in another video. Bye!